So there are two amazing things that happen at a makerspace. First, people who want to create have access to tools that they would never otherwise be able to use. So we have a bunch of laser cutter here that are fantastic. We have a water jet that'll cut through 4 inches of steel. We have shop bots and hand tools. We have embroidery machines and CAD/CAM software.
My business is called The Trouble with Trivets. I'm making trivets, or hot plates that you can use to keep your tabletop and your countertops from being scorched from your hot pots.
I got involved when this was called Tech Shop in Menlo Park, California. It's where I built some of the early Square prototype readers. And then Tech Shop expanded nationally, and they opened up a center here in St. Louis. But a year ago today, they declared bankruptcy and they closed all the tech shops. And they basically shut down all the makers during the Christmas season, where all these small businesses were here making their production, right before the biggest shopping season of the year. They all went out of business.
I actually went in that morning getting ready to make a special order for somebody, and the manager stopped me in my tracks and said, "You need to go, we're closed, we've gone bankrupt." And my jaw fell on the floor. I went into my car and I cried for about an hour. When Jim McKelvey swooped in and just saved us all, it was like a miracle. It really was. We're so grateful to him.
Doug and I sort of concocted a plan that evening to save it. And then we announced to the makers of St. Louis that there would be a 1-year pause while we got a new building, moved everything over, and reopened.
The two-sentence story we tell people is, he didn't have any time and I didn't have any money. He paid for it and I built it. And the building we're sitting in is the second example of that sort of teamwork. For me personally, this is who I am. I make things, and I relate to this idea of making stuff to physically creating. We've got a great team of 4 former Tech Shop employees that stayed with me and helped put this place together.
I can remember literally driving through the space where we're sitting right now with a stake truck with Doug, paint spilling out the side, driving up to a building that we had just taken possession of that had no systems in it, had no lights, had no heat, the roof was leaking, and that's where we sit today.
It is unbelievable.
We have a 16,000 square foot first floor that is dedicated to just about anything you need to have in order to make. So we have a full wood shop, a full machine shop, metal shop, welding, water jet, 3D printers, laser cutters, textiles, silk screening, the list goes on.
These tools are too expensive for any one individual to use.
This is a water jet. It uses high pressure water mixed with garnet, which is like a sand composition, as an abrasive to cut materials. Sometimes people ask me to cut signs for them or different little things like that, and so I draw it up and use the water jet to cut it out.
A water jet, you might need 5 minutes on the thing. To do a project, it could save you, hundreds of hours.
There is so much digital resources for creativity out there these days, and a makerspace really allows us to enhance that into the physical world.
The Tech Shop here in St. Louis was only a year old when they closed it. They definitely had a mix of both small business users, hobbyists. I think we'll see the same, and I think it's hard to predict what's going to happen. Our goal is to make it very inclusive.
It's fun, it's great, it's so much fun to make. And what I tell people is, look, we spend so much time these days, creating in front of our screens, and that's somehow unsatisfying to the hand. Like, you've got to feel something. You've got to, put your hand on a rough piece of wood, or play with leather, or cut yourself, or do something that connects with our humanity, and that's what a makerspace really helps do.